It's now the middle of March, and if you haven't got your growing space sorted out, now is the time. I'm just going to share some thoughts about making raised beds. So the first question to ask is whether you actually need raised beds at all. Because if you have a decent depth of soil in your garden, you could just dig up your lawn to make a vegetable bed. And I've got another video on that you might want to check out. There's two good reasons why you might want to grow in a raised bed. One of them is accessibility. You know, if you have trouble kneeling or squatting down to work at ground level. I've had a bit of trouble with housemaid's knee recently, so I can sympathise. The other reason would be if you don't have much soil at all, and that's the case here at the White House. This little strip around the edge of the car park is just like gravel underneath that, and you know, some gardens in new build housing developments also just have a little skim of soil under the grass. You do need to be aware that you're going to be spending quite a lot on timber and soil for making raised beds, and also they don't last forever. You might get 5 years, give or take a few, out of timber raised beds, and you can see that the ones that we're just demolishing here were built about 7 years ago, and some of them still look sort of sound from the outside, but they rot from the inside. And see, this is the state the wood's in now. So the alternative is you could build them out of something permanent, like, you know, concrete, bricks and mortar. You know. One thing you need to decide is how high you're going to build your beds. 30 centimetres is a good depth of soil for most crops. If you want your beds higher than this, or you're putting them on a surface that water can't drain through, you can put a layer of stone chippings or gravel in the bottom of the bed. So this will be filled to about 30 centimetres before we put the soil back in over the top. And the timber we're using here is larch from a local sawmill, and we've got them to cut into boards that are 20 centimetres by 4 centimetres, and also some corner posts here which are 7.5 centimetres square. If you fix the boards to posts on the corner rather than just to the end grain of the wood, that makes for a much stronger structure. So these old beds have been put together with nails, which is fine, though it does mean you can't take them apart without wrecking them. And so for the new ones, we've decided to use screws, which does mean if you make a mistake, you can more easily take it apart and redo it. And doesn't call for any particularly advanced joinery skills, but you do want to make sure you measure the site properly and use a set square to get the posts vertical, and level the site with a spirit level. You can see you don't need to drive any posts into the ground to fix it in place. It'll just rest on the surface of the ground, and the weight of the soil will be enough to stabilise it. Now, if your bed's more than, say, 1.5 meters long, you are going to need a bit of reinforcing to stop the soil from just pushing the boards out. So you can see here we've put in another couple of posts and a board midway along this bed. Now, I've been looking into different options for treating the wood to stop it from rotting and prolong the life of raised beds. But you want to be really careful that you're not using anything that's going to leach kind of toxic chemicals into the soil. And I'm also sort of thinking about when the raised beds reach the end of their life, what you're going to do with the wood. You can't, like pressure treated wood for instance, you can't burn it safely. You certainly can't wood chip and turn it into compost. What can you do? Now I think there's probably a good case for just leaving the wood untreated and accepting that it's gonna rot over time. But we're trying out a new newish kind of wood treatment called eco wood treatment. They're not paying me. This comes as a powder, which you mix up with water, and you can just spray it on with an ordinary sort of pressure sprayer, and it turns the wood a sort of greyish weathered colour, which is quite nice, I think. We'll give it 5 or 6 years and come back and tell you if it works. If you want to be absolutely sure that nothing is going to get into the soil from the wood, say if you're using recycled scaffold boards like we are here, these could have been treated. You can line them with black plastic. Just put it around the sides. Leave the base uncovered, because you want drainage in the bottom, and you also want a way for worms and other creatures to move into the soil from below. Now, as to what to put in your raised beds, you're best off with a combination of topsoil and some sort of soil improver, like this stuff, which is made from the composted garden waste, really the stuff that goes in your council brown bins. And if you do you get a 50-50 mix of topsoil and soil improver, you'll have a nice rich growing medium for your crops. So now you should be good to grow. I'll just point out, one thing we're coming to terms with here is the decision to plant fruit trees in a raised bed. We're going to have to dismantle this raised bed and rebuild it with the tree in place. So I'm not quite sure how that's going to work, but we'll see. So good luck with your raised bed project. And if you've got any questions or thoughts or ideas about this, just post them in the homegrown group and start a discussion. All right, see you next time.